morning, children. Welcome to everybody to online biology class. Myself, Dr. Devobroto Mukherjee, PGT Biology, Kendriya Vidyalaya Sanghathan. Exactly today I shall explain the menstrual cycle. So the menstrual cycle term is in correlated with the mammals, obviously. In mammals, the menstrual cycle is found, where in the female mammals. So, before discussing the menstrual cycle, we should have a idea about the which group of a mammals having the menstrual cycle. Are all the mammals having menstrual cycle, or a specific group of a mammal having the menstrual cycle? Yes, the menstrual cycle is found in a specific group of mammals. These are basically, in the broader aspect, these are a group of eutherian mammals. So that's why we should have a clear idea about the eutherial mammals. Exactly, what do you mean by the term eutherial mammals? Eutherial mammals are the mammals having a placenta. Exactly, mammals having a placenta. Example are monkey, ape, human being. So here I am showing you the picture of the baboon, monkey and ape, which are having the placenta. So these are the eutherian mammals. Very next, our focus is that human being. Human is exactly an eutherian mammal. So here I am showing you the different stages, different phases of life of human being. While talking, are all kinds of eutherian mammals having the menstrual cycle? No, exactly no. Answer is no. It is found only in case of a primates. What are the primates? Then let us explain the primates. Actually, primate is a eutherian mammal. We know the primate also, the term primate is to be explained that it is a eutherian mammal. They are constituting the taxonomic order primates, and they have some specific primate characteristics. What are these? Number one is the adaptation to life in the changing environment. Number two, including large brain. Number three, visual acuity. Number four is the color vision. Number five, altered shoulder girdle. Number six, dexterous hands. Again, example. So, for example is concerned, there are the lemur, monkey, apes and humans. So now it is very clear the why have I discussed about eutherian mammal and primates before the menstrual cycle, because menstrual cycle takes place only in case of female primates, and the primates coming under the broader category that is said to be the eutherian mammals. So that's why the discussion is needed. Let us focus at the female primates. Female primates always executing the reproductive cycle, that is called menstrual cycle. The speciality of the menstrual cycle, next we have to explain. The menstrual cycle is to be said about the reproductive phase of female primates, example monkey, ape and the human being. And the first menstruation begins at which phase of a female primate? On the beginning of puberty. This is called the menarche. So the menarche concept is very important. It is onset of puberty and the onset of first menstruations and menstrual cycle. So in the human female, we have to talk about the how much time does it continue? It is continued average interval of the 28 to 29 days, and starting from one menstruation to continuing to the next one, this is called the menstrual cycle. So when we are here, I will show you the events and the phases of the menstrual cycle in a graphical representation along with the hormonal perspectives also. So this one is a graphical representation of the menstrual cycle where the correlation is there. The phases are also mentioned in the x-axis and the events are mentioned in the y-axis along with this x and y-axis subsequently. So it will be telling that the what are the major events of the menstrual cycle. Whenever talking about the major events of the menstrual cycle, first phase is menstrual phase, second phase is called the follicular phase, third is the ovulatory phase, and next one is the luteal phase. We have already discussed these are taking place in our female system. So let us start the where does it take place. Basically these are interrelated with the uterus basically. So the menstruation is taking place in the uterus, where in the endometrium of uterus. Let us see the endometrium of uterus. Here I am showing you the endometrium lining of uterus and its subsequent changes. One is premenstrual phase and the menstrual phase and the post-menstrual phase. These phases are there, which is present within the inner wall of the uterus. Why is it so? Because we know it very well. That is, the ovum is released from the Graafian follicle, and subsequently when that will be passing through the oviduct. Here I am showing the oviduct also, from the ovary to coming to the oviduct. So ampullary isthmatic junction of oviduct, when the ovum is released, when ovum is reaching, then what happens? Either it will be fertilized by sperm or it will be not fertilized by the sperm. If it is fertilized by sperm, so the zygote will be formed and that will come to the endometrium lining of uterus. There the endometrium lining of the uterus will be well vascularized so that it can provide nourishment to the zygote, provide nutrients to the zygote for a certain period before taking birth. So that's why endometrium lining is vascularized, and that's why there are different changes, either premenstrual. So the premenstrual phase, it is ready to withstand the zygote. But what happens actually, if it is ovum is released, we have already discussed the Graafian follicle will be there, and when from the Graafian follicle ovum will be released, that will come to the ampullary isthmatic junction of the oviduct, and if it is fertilized, very good. If it is not fertilized, so the uterine walls, endometrium lining need not be well vascularized, no guest is coming there, no zygote is coming there. So there will be the rupturing of the endometrium lining. There will be the rupturing of the endometrium lining, and as a result the breakdown of endometrium lining, and the blood will come out through vagina. 3 to 5 days it will be continuing. This is called the menstrual phase. So I would like to tell it again. The menstrual phase is very important because the primary oocyte which has been formed within the ovary from oogonia, that will be encircled by granulosa cell. We have already discussed in the oogenesis. That will form the primary follicle. Again more layers form, that will form the secondary follicle, and within the secondary follicle primary oocyte is restored within the ovary, and the secondary follicle will be developed into tertiary follicle. When it reaches the tertiary follicle, then the primary oocyte completes its first meiotic division, and that changes into secondary oocyte, and then it divides. The unequal division is there. One ovum is formed, that is the secondary oocyte, and one small first polar body formed. Fate for first polar body is still now not known to us. Either it will divide or it will be degenerate. So that's a different parameter. We are in focusing the secondary oocytes or ovum, that will go into the Graafian follicle, and from the Graafian follicle, when it will rupture, then that will come to the ampullarismatic junction of the oviduct. If it is not fertilized, then endometrium lining, again I will to tell you, endometrium lining is not getting the fertilized ovum, that is zygote, so no necessity of its vascularization, so the lining will be broken down and the blood will come out through the vagina. This is actually the menstrual phase, and it will continue 3 to 5 days. I hope the concept is clear. So when the question is coming, so the pregnancy and the menstrual cycle both are complementary to each other. If the fertile ovum is fertilized in the ampullarismatic junction, it changes into zygote, and zygote will go to the endometrium lining and sit there. So there is no scope, no chance for the breakdown of endometrium lining. Then the menstrual cycle will off. So obviously lack of menstruation or lack of the menstrual cycle, that is indicating that the pregnancy is there. And if the fertilization does not take place, so ovum zygote is not to be formed, so endometrium lining did not to be restored for a long time, that will be broken down, menstruation is there. So the lack of pregnancy, if it is there, so the continuation of the menstrual cycle, it is very clear. But the question is coming, sometimes in the puberty stage the menstruation begins early. Why is it so? Because of, it is not only for ovulation, another cause is also there, some other underlying stress, poor health, malnutrition. These are the parameters which are basic problem of the third world countries, the child nourishment. So here it is very clear, we have shown the thickness of the uterus and it is very clear. So the picture, we are repeatedly talking about the terminology Graafian follicle. In the previous lecture, the oogenesis Graafian follicle I used, and again I am talking about Graafian follicle. What is it exactly? Actually, vividly it is to be said that when the tertiary follicle will having the ovum or the whatever secondary oocyte you can say, so that will be changing into the Graafian follicle. So here a section of a Graafian follicle is shown here, which in the uterus and which is in the ovary, and here I am putting the arrow mark, ovum is waiting there, waiting for releasing, waiting for moving throughout the fallopian tube, waiting to reach ampullarismatic junction, waiting for fertilization by the help of sperm. So the follicular phase is next phase. So the Graafian follicle is important. during this phase, the primary, so that's why we could say the follicular phase in this Graafian follicle and is rupturing. But how does it occur? Again, I would like to recapitulate the previous concept. Within the ovary, the primary follicle grows there rapidly into a fully mature Graafian follicle, primary follicle to secondary follicle, secondary to tertiary follicle. From the primary to secondary, primary oocyte is there. Then when coming tertiary follicle, then primary oocyte divides, complete its first meiotic division, changes into the secondary oocyte, and then that will be transformed into the tertiary follicle, will be changed into the fully mature Graafian follicle, and within which the ovum is there waiting, and simultaneously the endometrium of the uterus also regenerating. It has been cured the damage. Why? If the fertilization takes place, zygote will come and take shelter on the endometrium lining. So follicular phase is one perspective is that the successful completion of Graafian follicle and simultaneously the curing of endometrium lining. I hope here the vivid picture, clear picture of Graafian follicle is there. First I have shown the sectional view of Graafian follicle. Now I am showing you the schematic representation of the Graafian follicle. Here inside the secondary oocyte or ovum is there and the subsequent parts are there. Now the concept is coming, the ovulatory phase. Ovulatory phase, when you are talking about the ovulatory phase, you must be seeing the specific pictures here, the graphical representation here. In this graphical representation, I have shown you there are some of the days one, the menstruation, follicular phase, as well as the luteal phase next period. And there are some events also there. Number one is uterine event. Number two is the ovarian hormone event. Simultaneously going on ovarian event, and finally the pituitary hormone event. All the processes are taking place not one after another. It is taking place in a coordinated manner. So it is to be clarified how is it going on. Actually, the ovulatory phase, let us go back to the ovulatory phase. We have to discuss about the ovulatory phase, and whenever we are talking about the ovulatory phase is what? Here will be the unless hormones are secreted during the follicular phase, so the process will not be completed. There are two hormones are there. Two hormones are gonadotropins. One is called LH, luteinizing hormone, and second one is called the FSH, or the follicle stimulating hormone. I am underlining it. And these are increasing gradually during the follicular phase, and that will stimulate. Let us come back to the picture. Both should be shown. Graphical representation and statement should run simultaneously. Actually, you see, we are showing the luteinizing hormone, follicle stimulating hormones increases gradually during the follicular phase, and as a result follicular development is taking place. What is the follicular development? Again, primary oocyte within the primary follicle, then secondary oocyte and secondary follicle, then the tertiary follicle, and the primary oocyte divides into the secondary oocyte, first polar body, secondary oocyte along with the tertiary follicle go inside the Graafian follicle. So in this way, follicular development is possible. That is been controlled by the two gonadotropins. One is luteinizing hormone and follicle stimulating hormone. That is why here in this representation you see, when the Raphael follicle is forming, the luteinizing hormone, follicle stimulating hormones are at the peak level. As much time proceeds, it will be increasing more and follicular phases are taking place simultaneously. When does this peak occurs? At the 14 days. 14 days, about the 14 days, or it is there. And it is interesting that this is a mid-cycle phase, and this is a phase for rupturing the Graafian follicle. On the 14th day, here you see, so the peak level of the luteinizing hormone and the releasing of Graafian follicle, breaking of Graafian follicle, releasing of ovum, both are taking place simultaneously. If the luteinizing hormone doesn't at the peak level, then the releasing of the breaking down of Graafian follicle, releasing of ovum does not occur. So it is a hormone controlled mechanism. A specific gonadotropin hormone, luteinizing hormone, and subsequently follicle stimulating hormone controlling the process. Prime role is taken by the luteinizing hormone, and it is called the LH sludge or the LH surge or the luteinizing surge. It will be increasing the rupturing of, it is been motivating, promoting rupturing of Graafian follicle and releasing of ovum. But then the ovulation has been taken place. Whenever, when the ovulation has been taken place at the just mid-cycle phase, when the ovulation is taking place just at the mid-cycle phase, when the luteinizing Graafian follicle luteinizing phase along with the constant secretion of the FSH, follicle stimulating hormone, as the luteinizing hormone, and at the peak level of the luteinizing hormone is there, so LH sludge is there. At the time the releasing of Graafian follicle is taking place, ovum is also been released, so ovulation process is completed. Now this question is coming, the ovulation is over at a mid-cycle phase for approximately the 14 days, and the question coming, the ovum has released, that will be received by the fallopian tube, that will be passing through oviduct, that is going to the ampullar isthmatic junction, and that will be waiting for the sperm there for fertilization. But that is a subsequent phases, that will be a subsequent phase. But the question coming, what will be the fate of the Graafian follicle? What is the fate of the Graafian follicle? So the Graafian follicle will be subsequently, it is changing itself. How does it change? During which it is changing in the, since name is corpus luteum, since the name is Graafian follicle, and that will change into the corpus luteum. So you see the picture of a corpus luteum is there. Graafian follicle release the ovum, it's all right. Then the remaining part of a Graafian follicle will change into corpus luteum. So there will be subsequent change of corpus luteum. That phase, so far it is concerned with corpus luteum, so it is called the luteal phase. And corpus luteum secretes, it don't stop its functioning, it also secretes then progesterone hormone. It also secretes the progesterone hormone, which is required for maintenance of endometrium. This progesterone hormone will go to the endometrium lining and maintain it, because ovum has already reached to the ampullar isthmatic junction. If it is fertilized, then it will take hold shelter on the endometrium lining, it will hover on the endometrium lining. So the endometrium lining damage should be cured it should be well maintained. So in advance, once Graafian follicle is released, the ovum and the rest part of the Graafian follicle post ovulation phase, Graafian follicle is changing into the corpus luteum. Corpus luteum is secreting the progesterone hormone. I have been marked it. Corpus luteum is secreting the progesterone, and the progesterone will go to the endometrium lining, see, and it will be maintained. So that's why in this phase the progesterone hormone is to be there also. Progesterone hormone is to be there, and that will be a ovarian event. Ovarian hormonal level. Estrogen was peak level during the time of ovulation. Progesterone was increasing, but post ovulation phase it will be very active. Peak level it will be, you see, I would like to show you here much more clear. The ovarian hormone level, estrogen is released, that will be peak at the ovulation phase, but the progesterone will go up, it will be at peak level during the follicular phase, Graafian follicle phase, that will going to the endometrium and the maintaining the endometrium layer, so that if the fertilized ovum form the zygote, that will come and take shelter there in the uterine wall. So that's why the endometrium maintenance is highly needed. And see, I have shown a picture of the complete the corpus luteum, and in this slide also corpus luteum are shown. Entire process is taking place within the ovary. The double process is going on. The within the ovary corpus luteum formed, and within the ampulla isthmatic junction fertilization taking place, and within the uterine wall, three different organs, the same process is going on. So it is controlled by the hormone exactly. So the next phase, this picture I will show you, you follow clearly the corpus luteum changes are there. And if the question is coming, how do the sectional view of corpus luteum, if you take the ovary or a corpus luteum is to be the sectional view of the corpus luteum, if it is shown, it will be like this. So here the tissue level structure is there, histological section is there, where the ovary, where the corpus luteum is shown. So next question is coming, if the ovum is fertilized, then what happens? If the ovum does not fertilize, what happens? The very clear answer, if the ovum is fertilized in the ampulla isthmatic junction, then the zygote is formed, it is the onset of pregnancy. So the zygote will come to the endometrium lining, take shelter there. So there is no scope of the rupturing of endometrium wall, no chance for the menstruation. So the onset of puberty means stop of the menstruation. But if the fertilization does not occur, so at the time the pregnancy is taking place. At the time menstruation is leaded and a new cycle is to be formed. So the question is coming, in the human being, female, the beginning of menstrual cycle at the puberty, this is called menarche. But does the process continue throughout the life of female primates, or it will be restored after a certain period of life? Exactly, it does not continue throughout the life. In case of human being, menstrual cycle continues around the 50 years of age, and 50 years of age, then it will stop. This is called as a menopause. And the cyclic menstruation, it is an indication of normal reproductive phase. It started at menarche and ends at the menopause. So now the question is coming. We have already been discussed the concept, and here at the end of this lecture we have to give you some assignments. The number one assignment is there, the what is menstrual cycle, which hormones regulate menstrual cycle. Yeah, I have already discussed in detail all the perspectives. Second question is that from which gland the follicle stimulating hormone and luteinizing hormones are secreted. And third question is that what is LH sludge? What is called LH sludge? And fourth one is that differentiate between menarche and the menopause. So I hope you will complete the assignment by the help of my this video lecture. The slides are there, you could take help from. You consult the books as well as the video lecture, as well as you been trying to find out the answer. So the very next we have to be knowing, it is the lecture is incomplete until unless the acknowledgement is there. While delivering the video lecture, I have gone through the websites, different links. So the links have been given there. The links you go through and you also search through the links. I hope this will be helpful for you. While delivering the video lecture, I have been gone through different types of the references. Number one, the what kind of all these links are shown there. Please you go through the links and the websites which will be helpful for you. And subsequently the acknowledgement part is there. Acknowledgement, while taking the preparation for the video lecture, I have gone through these very books and the articles, websites also. I hope this will be helpful for you. Moreover, further detailed discussion, the YouTube links are also been given there, and if you click on the YouTube links on your laptop, you will be getting the detailed structure are also there, and ultimately the detailed structure just for the purpose. What are these references I have already shown you. This is said to be the parasitology, and simultaneously the front cover of the books are there. The name of these books have been mentioned also, front cover, and this parasitology front cover of the writers, the name is clearly given. Moreover, the YouTube links are also there, where from you can also get the help from there. All the YouTube links you search, you also prepare the answer of the questions. I hope the lecture will help you to understand the concept of the menstrual cycle. That's all of the today's discussion, and thank you very much.